The legion marches in formation, armor gleams, and in their hands tools, honed for death. But Romans won not just with bravery. Their power was in the instruments that turned ordinary men into a fighting machine. Today, we'll break down 10 of Rome's toughest tools that made enemies crumble before the melee even began. Let's go. Gladius, the heart of hand-to-hand combat. A short, double-edged sword, not for slashing force-stabbing. In tight ranks, a long sword is clumsy. The gladius is a spike, fast, precise, lethal in close quarters. Romans perfected the steel-quenching, tempering strength without brittleness. Handles of wood or bone, scabbards of wood or leather. It wasn't just a sword. It was an extension of the legionary's arm. Scutum, not a board, but a weapon. Laminated wood, leather, metal edges. A domed boss in the center made not only to catch blows, but to smash chest or face like a battering ram. In formation, shields make a wall. In the testudo, they make a roof against arrows and stones. In the crush, the shield strikes, shoves, breaks the enemy's rhythm. Then the gladius punches through the opening. Training is everything. Legionaries weren't taught to wave a sword, but to work the combo. Shield bash, thrust, step, repeat. Massed in sync, no solo heroics. Shield and sword are for the clinch. But what shattered enemy ranks before contact? Read on. Pilum, the rank breaker throwing spear, up to 2 meters long. The trick is a long, relatively soft iron shank. It punches into a shield and bends. The shield becomes dead weight. Drop it or haul the anchor and lose formation. Before lines met, thousands of pila flew and enemy ranks dissolved. Gaps, panic, lost tempo. Each legionary usually carried 2, a lighter one for range and a heavier one for closer throws. The tactical logic is simple. Shake them with pila strip shields in order. Close under a wall of scuta. Finish with the gladius. It worked everywhere. From Gaul to Britain to Dacia, even at sea. At Actium, they hurled pila onto decks. Crews were disabled before boarding. But what if the enemy hid behind walls, on towers, under cover? How did they smash what a sword couldn't reach? For that, they used ballista, the giant crossbow. Torsion bundles store energy, release, and the bolt drills through shields, planks, and men. Stone shot pulverizes positions and clusters. Ballistae thin ranks before melee and break morale even earlier. That metallic clack, the scream of sinew, and troops start ducking instead of advancing. Onager, the wild ass, a catapult for high arc fire, hurls massive stones over walls, perfect against cover. Collapses roofs, topples towers, rains down fire pots. In sieges, it pounds the nerves day and night. Noise, shaking ground, sleepless defenders. Battering ram, the hammer of the assault. A huge iron-bound log under a protective shed against fire and rocks. Monotonous impacts, masonry splits, gates cave. Psychologically brutal. Every blow reminds defenders the clock is not theirs. Who runs all this? Specialist engineers and artillery crews. Calculations, tension, angles, cadence. Rome won not just with muscle but with brains and craft. Raw power is great. But what about a sly, invisible bite that drops cavalry and rips formations without any siege gear? Time for the small stuff that hurt the most. Caltrops, tribuli, hedgehogs underfoot, small iron spikes with 4 points. No matter how they land, one sticks up. Scattered in choke points, at gates, on routes of attack or retreat. Result screaming horses, unseated riders, limping infantry, broken lines. Not a killer alone, but it made the enemy vulnerable. Then arrows, pila, and finishing blows did the rest. Chains and hooks, the naval trick. At sea, Romans turned ship combat into land combat. The Corvus a boarding bridge with a spike plus chains and grapnels to lock the foe in place. Then the gladius does its work. In sieges, hooks tore palisade sections, jammed gate gear, and ripped defenses apart. They also had the sappers' pick and shovel, the legionaries' core tools. Build roads, camp ramparts, bridges, and if cornered, fight back. A heavy head and sharp edge hit like an axe against light and medium armor. In Rome's army, the entrenching tool symbolized that every soldier was also an engineer. Multi-tailed scourge, the shadow side of power. Not a battlefield blade, but an instrument of discipline and fear. Braided thongs with metal or bone weights and hooks. Public punishment kept ranks tighter than orders alone. Harsh? Yes. But it delivered results. Order, obedience, execution of tasks. So what ties it all into one machine from hedgehogs and Pila to rams and the testudo? The answer is a simple principle. Romans didn't win with the strongest sword. They won with synergy. Shaping the field. Caltrops, Pila, artillery. Protection in motion, scutum, testudo. Strike at the moment. Short, fast gladius. Engineering, ballista, onager, ram. Iron discipline, the scourge as a reminder, all drilled to automatic. Every tool had a job. Break a shield, smash a gate, tear a line, light a tower, stop cavalry, erase the enemy's belief that we'll hold. That's why legions went far and arrived where they wanted. Want a part 2? We'll unpack formation secrets, how maniples and cohorts actually worked, why commands came by signals not shouting, and how a legion built a fortress camp from scratch overnight. Drop what you want next in the comments. If this was useful, like and subscribe. It only gets tougher and more interesting from here.